Hey, Uncle John. At your request, tonight we're going to do a flight with the Diamond aircraft, DA-62, from Columbus to Cleveland, and see if there's anything interesting that we can see along the way. As usual, start the game up. You have the main menu. Let's go to the world map and get our aircraft set up and flight plan done. So I already have the DA-62 selected, but if you have something else showing up here, just click on there, aircraft selection, scroll through it, pick the airplane you want, click it so it's checked. We'll stick with the standard paint, so we go straight to weight balance this time. Pilot, co-pilot, let's put, not a long flight, we don't need that much gas. 74%. 4 should be good enough. Click on customization. Make sure you have, a tail number in there like I discussed in the last video, so air traffic control has something to call you. And then once that's done, just click close or hit escape. And that'll take us to our map. It's nighttime right now. I think we'll do maybe an afternoon flight. Maybe about 4 p.m. So we'll take off from Columbus. Let's see what airports we have in the Columbus area to take off from. So we have John Glenn, which is right by where you live, and Rickenbacker. I think I'll do Rickenbacker, since it's less busy of an airport. Probably where more of the general aviation aircraft fly out from in Columbus anyway. And I could be wrong, I'm not that familiar with it. Let's see, find a ramp spot and set that as our departure. And then for our arrival, this is Cleveland. We can scroll out on the map, scroll back in the Cleveland area. And we could do Hopkins, but I like to fly around downtown, so I'm going to pick Burke Lakefront and set that as the arrival. So about a 44-minute flight looks like. The winds are pretty high in Burke right now, 24 knots. I probably wouldn't actually fly if it was real life, but hey, it's a flight simulator. If you crash, we can just start over again. 24 knots is doable. Alright, so it's going to put us on runway 24 right when we get to Burke. And let's see if there's anything interesting to see. Could fly over your house. That's always fun to do in flight simulator. Let's see if I can find your house. So I know you live somewhere around here. Then what I could do is just find out what the GPS coordinates for your house is. Since I'm not that familiar with the area, I would probably do it that way. I almost feel like I know this spot, but not quite. You're probably yelling at the screen, telling me which direction to scroll. I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to switch over to Google Maps. Look somewhere in here and just copy the GPS coordinates. And this is the hint, by the way. If you happen to know the GPS coordinates of anything that you want to set as a waypoint, you can just paste them right in here, and it will set as a custom waypoint. So here we go. That should look pretty familiar to you. Let's fly right over it. And let's see, when we get to Cleveland area, yeah, maybe we can do a flight over Cleveland Clinic, University of the Circle area. Here we go. We can set the lagoon by the Cleveland Museum of Art. That'll be a good place to do a waypoint. So let's add a waypoint there. And then let's head over to the Inner City Yacht Club. That waypoint there, and that will take us pretty much straight into runway 24. We not even have to fly pattern when we contact the tower. So that's our route. Like before, what you plan in here will be loaded into the aircraft flight management system when you start up, so you don't have to worry about typing that all in cockpit. Let's go to our weather, make sure we have live weather on. Yeah, set the time back to about 4 p.m. Click on nav log, see what cruising altitude it thinks you should do based on the aircraft performance, 3,500 feet. That sounds pretty good. So we'll stick with that. This is the VFR flight, so we can go higher or lower if we want. I don't think I've ever flown this aircraft, so I'm not familiar with it. Alright, so that's about all we have in here. We've got our departure, we've got our arrival, got a couple waypoints set in there. So let's go fly. When you get a chance, definitely do a flight around New York City. It's really nice to fly around. Alright, here we go. At Rickenbacker. So, let's take a look at the aircraft. DA-62. Never flown this, I don't think. I'm more of a King Air guy. Alright, so it's loading up our traffic on the ramp. Take a look around, see what it looks like. Nice. Okay, so if we don't recall, we're going to do, this is another quick and dirty video. Never flown this aircraft before, so I'm going to use auto start, which is, if you remember, Control E. Now get things going. So, watch it complete the startup sequence. Go ahead and turn that on. Running. Turn our lights on. We could hit the L key, but it looks like our light controls are pretty simple. We've got the strobe, position light, taxi lights. We turn those on. Let's see if I remember to turn them back off. System still booting up. Alright, so look like we're ready to go. Let's see, the initiator panel says we turn our pilot heat on, so let's do that. It happens to be a nice big button right here, we turn that on. Let's see, it's pretty cold out, -6, so let's make sure anti-ice is set. We don't have an anti-ice system, we have a de-ice, so let's just make sure we know how it works in case things get icy out here. Yeah, windshield heat. Let's put that in normal mode. Yeah, that should take care of any icing. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. Nothing else on the enunciator panel, so nothing else seems to need to be turned on. We know we have our GPS route loaded up because we have the magenta line here. And we can see it on the moving map display over here, so that's good. Let's get our autopilot stuff turned on. So flight director on, navigation mode on. You can see them coming up here. Let's see, vertical navigation on. It looks like this is a Garmin 3000, so we do have flight level change mode, which is nice, and vertical speed mode as well. So we'll probably use both of those. Flight level change for climbing, vertical speed mode for descending. That's usually how I do it. Okay. Look around outside. Set our trim. Remember 7 and 1 on the number pad for trim. 1 for trimming the elevator up. So we'll take that to, I don't know, maybe about 8%. 9% probably fine. Okay. And then next thing to do is set our pressure altitude. Remember that's the B key for barometer. And then you can see how the altitude altimeter adjusts to the local field altitude, which is about 740 feet. So that's set. Taxi lights on. Well, I think we're ready to go. Let's get our taxi clearance. We'll hit the scroll lock key, pull up the radio, tune the ground, and we're taking off to the north, so let's do request taxi to Park North.
Rick Brown Diamond November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu, request taxi for north departure with India.
Diamond November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu taxi to and hold short of runway 2 Tree right via taxiway Bravo Alpha. Contact tower on 120.0 when ready.
And now taxi clearance.
Taxi to and hold short runway 2 Tree right using taxiway Bravo Alpha, Diamond Tree Bravo Zulu.
I guess while we're sitting here we can get our local weather.
Airport information India 2100 Zulu. Wind 277.
12 knots.
Visibility 10. Sky condition ceiling 1000.
So cold and windy.
Overcast. Temperature -6. Dew point 10. Altimeter 30.53. ILS runway 2.
Okay, well let's start taxiing. Let's see. Zoom out, external view, just so I can see where I'm going. There's our taxi L's there. So, don't need a pushback today. I'm just gonna head off to the right, start taxiing. So parking brakes off. If you remember, that's control and then the period on the number pad key. Turn off the parking brake. And somewhere in here, there's probably a parking brake as well. But I don't know the aircraft, so I'm using the key commands. Taxi light on. Go back to its tonal view. Make sure our controls are working. And let's start taxiing. Give me some gas. Ignore that guy. Hit the B key so we get our VFR moving map. So we keep an eye on things that way. Way too fast now. Slow down. And the DA-62 is a pretty light aircraft. I can already tell it's going to be a little hard to control and kind of jumpy in these high winds on this flight. but we'll try to manage. Alright, let's taxi. Gotta put in a lot of rudder just to go straight. So, definitely windy. I definitely need a joystick with actual rudder controls. I'm not using my keyboard. There's a guy sitting on the taxiway. We'll just go right through him. I generally ignore the ground traffic because half the time it's just wrong. It's just there for eye candy. While we are, put our rudder down, F7, 1 notch of rudder down. We're going to use that for takeoff. Cockpit view. Definitely hard to control in this wind. All over the place. Alright, zoom in on the VFR map, see how far we have to go. A little ways to go before we get there. We might have one little airline flight over there. I don't recognize the paint on that. No, FedEx. I think. Let's see what it is when we get closer. Yeah, FedEx. Must be a feeder. Like an ATR. I didn't know they flew those. Yeah. Long taxi. Final a bit. Let's get lined up at the threshold and contact the tower. brakes on. We are holding short. Before we contact the tower, let's just make sure we're ready to go. Turn off our taxi light, turn the landing light on. Let's just make sure autopilot kind of initially set up. Looked like it. Let's see. Flight director is on. Nav mode is on. Vertical navigation is on. Let's set our mission altitude. Not too high. Maybe 2,000 feet. You want to fly over your house, you don't want to be too high. 2,000 feet sounds reasonable. Alright, contact the tower and get our permission to take off. Back to external view so I can see what I'm doing. Grab takeoff clearance.
Tower Diamond, November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu at runway 2 Tree right, ready for departure.
Controls are good.
Diamond November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu, wind 277.
Flaps 20, trimming, takeoff zone. Yeah, ready to go.
Runway 2 Tree right.
Got our clearance.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 2 Tree right, Diamond Tree Bravo Zulu.
Let's get lined up. Let's see how bad 12 knots is going to be if I have to crosswind. Make sure we're on the right runway. Yeah, that looks like 23, right? And the runway is very long, so just throttle up. Get the rudder under control. Yeah, crosswind. And airspeed. Live. E1. Rotate. Big crosswind. Positive rate. Hit the G key. Gear up. Rudder. Fly straight out a bit. Clear the airport. Then we'll make our time.
Diamond 3 Bravo Zulu, continue for north departure.
Alright, let's make our turn now.
Ring Tower Diamond, November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu. Continue for north departure.
Let's head north. Zoom out on the map a bit. Downtown Columbus. Back in town there. That's all we have to do. About 13 miles to Kahana, which is our first waypoint. Let's get pointed towards our route so we can turn on the autopilot and have that pick it up and do some flying for us. So heading towards the line. Let's see if autopilot will engage. Autopilot on. And then flight level change. Take us to 2,000 feet. markers pretty well. Get our flaps up. Alright. Now the autopilot's on, we can have a proper look around. None of this looks familiar to me. I do not know the Columbus area from the air, but it should look pretty familiar to you.
Diamond Tree Bravo Zulu leaving the airspace frequency change approved.
Alright. Frequency change.
Brick Tower Diamond November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu. Frequency change.
Slow down a bit.
Approach Diamond November 2 Tree
Yeah,
Bravo
big
Zulu. Is
transition.
type Diamond DA-62 5 miles north of Brick 2,200 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Diamond November 2 Tree Bravo Zulu approach.
Yeah, tracking.
Approach southwest for 6901 Enhanced approach to Columbus.
The swap code. Hit the B key. Make sure our AMS altitude is still good. Wait on time. Now we can
Squawk
acknowledge.
7111 Diamond Tree Bravo Zulu.
Diamond Tree Bravo Zulu, we are contact 5 miles south of Columbus, 2,000 feet. Clear through the Charlie airspace.
Hold on a little bit more.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Diamond Tree Bravo Zulu.
Freeway. That 70 looks like 70 maybe. Someone in school, I don't know if you recognize what school that is. There's Columbus Airport. In real life, I doubt we'll be flying right over it like this, but something to look at. Downtown Columbus in the background. A little too slow, could I speed up a bit? I'm gonna put a notch of flaps down so I can stay slow. See if I can see you guys' house. Flying right over Columbus Airport. You see the planes line up at the gate. Some of them anyway. We're getting close to our first waypoint, which should be the house. So let's see if we can pick it out. If you notice, the trees look very overgrown. That's kind of a bug. It's like similar to there's a fix for that, so the trees aren't so big. Shopping center looks familiar. Some more. throttle. Too slow. According to flight sim, we should have just flown somewhere over your house. So let me know if we found it. Again, they just scrolled over there. Alright, let's get our speed back up. Let's head to Cleveland. So what we want to do is get our cruising altitude set maybe about 5,000 feet. Get flight level change, start climbing, get some throttle. 89, get those flaps up. Then it should start climbing up to 5,000 feet. And then we'll stay up there until we get to the Cleveland area. Then we'll drop back down to maybe 2,000 again. And see what University Circle looks like in Flight Simulator before we swing around and land there. But so we're going to fast forward for about 40 minutes. I'm not going to record the next 40 minutes of flying over Central Ohio. There's really nothing to see. So when we get to about 15 miles outside of Cleveland, I'll pick up the recording again. Okay, it's about 30-35 minutes later, and we are back. And it's absolutely nothing. I just made a call to Cleveland Airport to get permission to transit to Bravo airspace, since we're close to Cleveland Hopkins. Just got permission for that. So we're continuing on to our next waypoint, which will be over at University Circle. So in a couple of minutes, we'll start descending out of 5,000 feet down to about 2,500 feet. So we can see things down there a bit better. It's also getting a little cloudy up there. Matter of fact, I'll take it down to 4,000 now, so let's get our autopilot set up. Come back in here. Reduce our altitude to 4,000, using altitude selection now. And then remember, for this autopilot, flight level changes for climbing, and then we will use the vertical speed mode for descent. Set our vertical speed to about 800 feet per minute. Descent down to 4,000. And we can see it descending now. Control space, we set our view. And then reduce our throttle down to about 65%. So we don't overspeed, and get back under these clouds so we can maintain proper VFR flight. Make sure I didn't miss a radio call. Should be fine. We can actually see the lake up there now. So getting close to Cleveland. Hopkins somewhere over here. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. Well, let's just get on down to 2,500 feet. So vertical speed back on. Make it 9,000 feet per minute this time. my view, control space, in key, back in the external view. See if we can start picking up some landmarks. These are the south suburbs. I'd like to see that. About to pass through some rain. If you notice, you can actually see a little bit of rainbow as the sun is shining through the rain. And it's pretty cold up here, so you might even get a little bit of icing on the windscreen, even though I do have the anti-ice on, so maybe not. Let's do a little bit more. Flying over park. Downtown clearly in the distance. Look like we're flying over Palmer now, so I might actually be flying over my job in a minute. It definitely looks like Palmer.
Cleveland approach Frontier Flight 4257 is missed approach at Cleveland. Frontier Flight 4257, you are 2 miles southwest. Climb and maintain 16,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 24 left approach via THRT in transition. Clear to THRT.
Yeah, that will be the exit to Jennings Freeway, and we are flying over my job. Let's see, so Cleveland Controlled is right here.
Climb and maintain
That white
16,000
building.
feet. Expect ILS runway 24
A
left
nice
approach via
coincidence.
THRT in transition. Clear to THRT in Frontier Flight 4257.
Right over my new job. A lot of radio chatter, but none for me. Line over 480, Jennings Freeway 176. That would be my old job, Howman Aerospace, right over here. Got the steel mills. Yeah, looks a little melty, but they're there. Get my speed back up. Flats over there, all the steel mills. Cuyahoga River. I'm gonna take it down to 2,000 feet so you can see things a little bit better. 1,000 feet. Vertical speed, 800 feet per minute percent. Throttle down a bit. Oh, there's University Circle coming up here, so let's see what we can see. Let's see, zoom in. We've got that church on Buckeye Road, Juvenile Detention Center, and then Case Campus right ahead, Case and Cleveland Clinic. Case over to the left there, right. Cleveland, all the Cleveland Clinic buildings here. Including helicopter landing pads, which you can land on. with the helicopters in the game. I've done it a couple of times. I was making a turn. There's Oil Can Church, Way Lagoon, Cleveland Museum of Art. So right on target. VA Hospital. Oh, there's Huff. And if you look really closely, right here, brand new grandpa's house. How about that, huh? Alright, let's get ready to land at Burke. Close enough to call the tower. One, Burke Lakefront. Contact the tower. Press full stop landing.
Lakefront Tower, Diamond, November. 2 Tree Bravo Zulu, 3 miles east, 2,000 feet to land.
Get our flaps down. So we got a straight in approach because we're pretty much going to be headed right for it. Take our altitude down to 1,000 feet. Vertical speed on 300 feet per minute. Gear down. Acknowledge the landing pins.
Diamond Tree, Bravo Zulu.
Full flaps. Turn the autopilot off. I'll fly it in from here. Gotta find the autopilot. Autopilot off. Get our speed down. Zoom in a little bit. Don't need the map anymore. Blow that up a bit. Right on the glide scope, you can see the advisory light. Yep, a little low now. My throttle up. So I get 2 white, 2 red. Definitely too low. 4 red now. Throttle up. It's pretty windy. Better. 2 whites and 2 reds back. A bit more throttle. Yep, 2 whites, 2 red. Try to keep it on that glide scope. Too high now. Definitely not used to the shape there. Definitely in the crosswind. Now too high. Reduce throttle. A little bit more left rudder. Should be about right. Have to crab it a little bit. Rudder. Ground effect. Throttle. Here we go. We'll take rudder again. And once you touch down, it'll give you the path to the nearest taxiway. So you can get out of the way. Get my throttle again, put my flaps up. Don't need those anymore. And get off the runway. It's bugging me. Alright, off the runway. Ground handoff. Turn ground. Ask for taxi to parking.
Lakefront ground, Diamond, November 2 Tree, Bravo Zulu taxi to parking.
Diamond November 2 Tree, Bravo Zulu taxi to general aviation parking. Via taxiway Delta Golf Charlie.
Taxi plan.
Taxi to general aviation parking via
and just follow the blue arrows, and it looks like it is going to take me to, I think that's the Millionaire hangar, or used to be Millionaire anyway. Can't remember what it is now. But my boss from when I worked at Commute Air started working as a mechanic again. She actually works in that hangar. She's the lead mechanic for all of the helicopters that the Cleveland Clinic uses. So we'll just taxi over there and say hi to John. That'd be great. Just showing you why I do external view, because if I did this in cockpit, you can't see anything. So why I prefer external once again. Alright, this time we actually have a marshal in the right position, so take a little too hard. We follow her. Try to move the rest of the way in. Parking brake, control period, and turn off the engine. The way I do it, I just cut off the fuel. Do the fuel control, get out of the way. Fuel cut off. That does it. Turn off the landing lights, position lights, navigation lights, and turn off the pilot heat. Avionics master switch and electric master switch, and then we're off. That's it. Flight's over. So Columbus to Cleveland and the Diamond DA-62. Not bad. It's a little light for my taste. Hard to maintain good control of it in a heavy crosswind, but pretty easy to fly other than that. The systems are really easy, so this might be a good one for you to do your cross-country trips and things in there, something that's a little bit faster than the single engine piston, but without being too complicated as far as the flight management system. It's not a bad aircraft for that. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Hope it was helpful for you. And the next one will probably be an IFR flight, and I will do that in my favorite aircraft in the game, which is the Honda Jet. See you later.